Good morning. So in the last class, introduction of stereoisomerism completed. What is asymmetric carbon? What is asymmetric carbon? What are the enantiomers? And what are the properties of enantiomers? And what are the properties of enantiomers are completed. The next two. So what is asymmetric carbon? So tetravalency of carbon is satisfied by four different groups. Let it is B, it is C, next it is D. So this carbon is called asymmetric carbon. This carbon is called asymmetric carbon. And so the molecule containing asymmetric carbon can exhibit optical isomerism. So what is optical activity? The compound which rotates plane polarized light. So what is the plane polarized light? How it is produced? Or the equipment or the device which is used to produce the plane polarized light is polarimeter. So polarimeter. By using a polarimeter, so we can produce the plane polarized light. So ordinary light containing different radiations having different wavelengths, they are propagated in different directions. Perpendicular to the passage of light. Okay. When this ordinary light is passed through Nicol prism. So it is passed through Nicol prism. It is prepared from special crystalline calcium carbonate, CaCO3. It is also called calcite. So this crystalline form is also called calcite. So it is called calcite. So passing through Nicol prism. So the light coming from prism is vibrated in only one direction, but perpendicular to the passage of light. So in only one direction. So it is called plane polarized light. PPL means plane polarized light. So it is vibrated in only one direction, perpendicular to the passage of light. Next one. So this light in polarimeter experiment. So it is the substance taken in the polarimeter. It is the glass tube. So the substance is taken in the form of solution in glass tube. It is fitted in polarimeter. So if this compound rotates, the substance in solution form rotates plane polarized light towards clockwise direction. It is called dextro compound. It is the polarimeter. It is the plane polarized light. So it is the sample of substance taken in the glass tube in the form of solution. So it is a dextrorotatory. It is also denoted by small d or plus. Suppose the compound taken in the form of solution in polarimeter, if it rotates the plane polarized light towards anti-clockwise direction. Let it is the glass tube. So substance is taken in the form of solution in this glass tube. Let it is the plane polarized light. So the substance rotates the plane polarized light towards the clockwise direction. So the substance which rotates the plane polarized light towards clockwise direction, it is a dextrorotatory compound. The compound which rotates the plane polarized light towards anti-clockwise direction. So anti-clockwise direction, that is anti-clockwise direction. So anti-clockwise direction, it is called a levorotatory compound. So it is called levorotatory compound denoted by small l or minus. It is levorotatory compound. It is the experiment. So polarimeter experiment. So but next, the factors influence on rotation of plane polarized light. The factors influence on factors influenced on plane polarized light are 6. So means rotation is depends on 6 factors. So rotation of a plane polarized light is influenced by 6 factors, means it depends on 6 factors. First factor, concentration of substance in the form of solution. First one is the concentration. Next, the second one, it is also depends on nature of solvent. Nature of solvent. It is the second factor. So the factors influence on rotation of plane polarized light. Rotation of plane polarized light depends on 6 factors. First one is the concentration of the substance in the form of solution. Second one, nature of solvent. Either it is a polar solvent or non-polar solvent. It is depends on nature of solvent. Next, third one, it is also depends on length of the tube. It also depends on length of the tube. Length of the tube means it is the tube. It is the glass tube. So it is also depends on length of this glass tube. Sample is taken in this glass tube. It also depends on the length of the glass tube. So solution is taken in glass tube. It is also depends on the length of this glass tube. Next, fourth factor. It also depends on wavelength of incident radiation. Wavelength lambda. It also depends on wavelength of incident radiation. Wavelength of incident radiation. Next, fifth one, it is also depends on temperature. It also depends on temperature. Next, sixth one is also depends on nature of the substance. It also depends on nature of the substance. So these are the factors influence on rotation of plane polarized light. So influence the plane polarized light. These are the factors. So first one is the nature of the substance. So concentration of the solution. Next one, nature of the solvent, length of the tube, wavelength, temperature. It also depends on nature of the substance. It also depends on nature of the substance. Nature of the substance. Nature of the substance. Next one. It also depends on the length of the tube. That is L. Next, it is depends on wavelength of incident radiation. It also depends on temperature. These are the factors influence on rotation of a plane polarized light. So these are the factors influence on rotation of a plane polarized light. Depends on concentration of the solution, nature of solvent. The substance is dissolved in suitable solvent. It also depends on nature of solvent. It also depends on the nature of substance, length of the glass tube. Next one, wavelength of incident radiation. Next, it is also depends on temperature. So these are the factors influence the rotation of a plane polarized light. Okay. So plane polarized, the device which is used to produce the plane polarized light or to measure the optical rotation, the equipment or so the device which is used is called polarimeter. So in a polarimeter, suppose the substance in the form of a solution which rotates the plane polarized light towards clockwise direction. It is a dextrorotatory compound, small d, but not capital D. Suppose the substance rotates the plane polarized light towards anti-clockwise direction. Towards anti-clockwise direction, it is a levorotatory compound minus. So how plane polarized light is produced? Ordinary light is passed through Nichols prism. So Nichols prism is made up of special crystalline calcium carbonate. It is also called calcite. So it is propagated in only one direction, perpendicular to the path of light. So it is a plane polarized light. So in polarimeter, the substance, it is a solution, the substance in the form of solution taken in the glass tube. So it is depends on concentration of the solution, nature of solvent, nature of substance. Next one, nature of the substance, length of the tube. Next one, wavelength of incident radiation, and it is also depends on temperature. So these are the factors influence on rotation of plane polarized light. What is a plane polarized light? So the light, the ordinary light is passed through Nichols prism. So it is vibrated in only one direction perpendicular to the path of light. So it is called plane polarized light. Okay. So rotation of plane polarized light depends on 6 factors. Next one. So what is a specific rotation? What is specific rotation? So what is a specific rotation? How it is calculated? So what is a specific rotation? So specific rotation is, so specific rotation, it is denoted by alpha. So at a given temperature T and incident wavelength of incident radiation, that is equal to, so it is the specific rotation. It is a specific rotation. Specific rotation. So specific rotation alpha T lambda is equal to alpha observed. So it rotates either plus 12 degrees or plus 19 degrees or plus 111 degrees. So observed rotation angle by L into C. It is the formula. L is the length of the tube. C is the concentration. So it is the formula used to calculate the specific rotation. So alpha limitation to get given temperature and wavelength of given radiation, that is equal to observed lambda, that is observed alpha, that is the rotation of specific rotation, angle of rotation by L into C. L is the length of the tube. C is the concentration. C is the concentration. So rotation is depends on. So this plane polarized light, this rotation depends on 6 factors, but specific rotation is independent of length and concentration. Length of the tube and concentration. It is independent. Specific rotation is independent of length and concentration. Okay, na? So here take one numerical. So the observed rotation. So the observed rotation of, so first one is the observed rotation. Observed rotation of a solution. A solution containing 2 grams of compound. 2 grams of compound. 2 grams of compound when placed in 25 centimeters long polarimeter tube. Long polarimeter tube. So long polarimeter, 25 meters long polarimeter tube. Polarimeter tube is plus 13.4 degrees. So the observed rotation of a solution containing 2 grams of compound when placed in 25 centimeters long polarimeter tube is 13.4. So it is the observed rotation plus 13.4. So next one, weight of substance 2 grams in. So placed in 2 grams of substance is placed in 25 centimeters long polarimeter tube is 13.4. So the observed rotation of a solution containing, so 10 ml of solution, observed rotation of 10 ml of solution. 10 ml of a solution containing, so volume is mentioned 10 ml. Weight of substance 2 grams. Length of the tube is centimeters, 25 centimeters. observed rotation is 13.4. So the observed rotation of 10 ml of a solution, 10 ml of a solution containing 2 grams of compound when placed in 25 centimeters long polarimeter tube is 13.4. So what is the specific rotation of the compound? What is the specific rotation? What is the specific rotation? Specific rotation of the compound. So calculate the specific rotation of the compound. So here alpha is equal to, at a given temperature and wavelength, specific rotation alpha at a given temperature and a given wavelength of radiation is equal to alpha observed. So what is the observed rotation? Plus 13.4. 13.4 by next to L. So L is given in centimeters, but here L is taken in decimeter. L is taken in decimeter. So 25 centimeters is equal to decimeters by 10. So it is considered as a 2.5 decimeter. It is considered as a 2.5 decimeter. Okay. The next one. So here concentration 2 grams. So it is the L. Concentration C is equal to 2 grams in 10 ml. 2 grams in 10 ml. So therefore for 1 ml, 2 by 10, that is equal to 0.2 gram per milliliter. For 10 ml, 2 grams. Therefore for 1 ml, so 0.2. Next one, 25 centimeters, that is equal to in decimeters. So that is 2.5 into 0.2. 2.5 into 0.2. So plus 13.4 by 2.5 into 0.2, that is 0.5. 0.50. So 25 to just 50. Number of digits to 0.50. So 0.50. So 13.4 by 0.50. So its simplified value is nearly plus 26.8 degrees. Plus 26.8 degrees. It is a specific rotation. Okay. So alpha is equal to observed rotation by L into C here condition. Concentration is gram per milliliter. Weight of substance in gram per milliliter. Concentration is expressed in grams per milliliter. So 2 grams in 10 ml. Therefore 1 ml contains 0.2 grams. Next one, L is the length. So length is taken in decimeter. So it is the formula. So the observed rotation value is given 13.4. Volume of solution is 10 ml. Weight of substance 2 grams. Therefore, here concentration in this formula we use gram per milliliter. 10 ml of solution contains 2 grams of substance. Therefore, 1 ml of solution contains 2 into 1 by 10. That is equal to 0.2. It is 25 centimeters. Deci means by 10. By 10 means 2.5. So L value is 2.5. Concentration in gram per milliliter is 0.2. So simplified. So final value is 26.2. Right? It is the specific rotation of 10 ml of solution containing 2 grams of substance placed in 25 centimeters of long polarimeter tube. So it is a specific rotation. Specific rotation. Okay. Completed. So now what is a specific rotation? Take the definition. What is a specific rotation? So specific rotation is defined as the rotation produced by a solution. The rotation produced by a solution. A rotation produced by a solution containing So here concentration is taken in grams per milliliter. So gram per cc concentration placed in polarimeter. So gram per solution containing gram per cc centimeter cube. Gram per centimeter cube concentration is taken in polarimeter tube of length decimeter. So what is the length of polarimeter? So what is the length of polarimeter tube? So decimeter for the given length. So it is called specific rotation. So specific rotation is defined as a rotation produced by a solution containing 1 gram per cc concentration is taken in polarimeter tube of length. So 1 decimeter. 1 decimeter, it is called specific rotation. So rotation produced by a solution containing 1 gram per cc. Here 10 ml of solution contains 2 grams. Therefore 1 ml, here we require only 1 gram per cc. 1 gram per cc. Centimeter cube means cc. Okay, na? 1 gram per cc. Cubic centimeter. 1 gram per cc, 1 cc equal to 1 milliliter. So 10 ml is equal to 10 cc's. 10 ml of solution containing 2 grams. Therefore, 1 ml solution containing 0.2. So concentration is expressed in gram per cc. Next one, here length of the tube is taken in decimeters. So 25 by 10, that is equal to so 2.5. So plus 26.8. It is the specific rotation. So rotation produced by a solution of 1 gram per cc concentration. So placed in polarimeter of length 1 decimeter per given wavelength of light at a given temperature is called at a given wavelength and given temperature is called specific rotation. It is called specific rotation. Okay. So what is the specific rotation? Rotation produced by a substance in the form of solution containing 1 gram per cc. 1 gram per cc is taken in unit length of, that is 1 decimeter length of polarimeter tube at a given wavelength and a given temperature is called specific rotation. It is called specific rotation. So how to calculate the specific rotation? So alpha T lambda is equal to observed by length is taken in decimeters, next C is taken in gram per cc. It is called specific rotation. So next, rotation of plane polarized light depends on 6 factors, whereas specific rotation is independent of concentration and the length of the tube. So it is the specific rotation plane polarized light. The next one. So enantiomers concept is also completed. What are enantiomers? So non-superimposable mirror images are called enantiomers. So what are enantiomers? Non-superimposable mirror images are called enantiomers. Example also completed: lactic acid, glyceraldehyde. So these are all examples for enantiomers. Racemic mixture is also completed. Okay. So what are enantiomers? So what are enantiomers? So non-superimposable mirror images are called enantiomers. They are called enantiomers. Non-superimposable mirror images are called enantiomers. Example, take lactic acid. So it is the COOH group. So highly oxidized carbon is taken on vertical top position. Next, it is the longest chain carbon is taken in. So bottom of the vertices. The next one, it is OH. Next, it is H. So 2-hydroxypropanoic acid, commonly it is called lactic acid. lactic acid. Okay, take its mirror image. So it is OH. Next, it is COOH. Next, it is H. Next, it is CH3. So these two are mirror images. Non-superimposable mirror images are called enantiomers. Example, take a left hand and the right hand. So it is the left hand, it is the right hand. So these two are mirror images. Okay, na? So it is thumb, it is thumb. It is non-superimposable on left hand. So left hand is placed on right hand. These two are non-superimposable. Superimposable means same type of finger is coincided. It is superimposed. Next, it is a non-superimposed. So left and right hands are enantiomers because of these two are mirror images and they are non-superimposed. So non-superimposable mirror images are called enantiomers. So suppose first compound rotates, like it is the first one. Its mirror image is second one, or it is A. Next, it is its mirror image is B. Okay. Suppose the first compound rotates planar polarized light towards the clockwise direction. It can be determined only experimentally, but not based on structure. Okay. Suppose in polarimeter, it rotates the planar polarized light towards the clockwise direction. It is dextro-rotatory, hence it is called D-lactic acid. We use a small d. Or plus. It is called plus. So it is a plus lactic acid. So if it rotates planar polarized light towards the clockwise means dextro-rotatory, then its mirror image must rotate the planar polarized light towards anti-clockwise direction. Hence it is called levorotatory compound, means it is considered as minus lactic acid or small l or minus lactic acid. Minus, so lactic acid. Either you use small l or minus. So L indicates levorotatory. Negative sign indicates levorotatory. So it is called minus lactic acid. Means optical rotation is different. These two are mirror images. Next, it contains asymmetric carbon. So non-superimposable mirror images are called enantiomers. So enantiomers having, so first compound rotates, suppose the planar polarized light towards clockwise direction in 52 degrees. Okay. So its a mirror image rotates planar polarized light in opposite direction, same 52 degrees. Okay, so 52 degrees. So optical rotation value is the same, but what are the differences between? Enantiomers? So direction of rotation is opposite. If first compound rotates planar polarized light towards clockwise direction, its a mirror image must rotate planar polarized light in opposite direction. So, but value is the same. It is 52. It is 52. Suppose it rotates 111 degrees. It also rotates 111 degrees. So enantiomers having same, almost similarities in their physical properties. Next, almost having the same chemical properties, having the same rotation value. Angle of rotation is the same, 52. So angle of rotation value is the same. Angle of rotation value is the same. But what is the difference? So they differ in rotation. So optical rotation in opposite directions. First compound rotates towards right hand direction. Hence it mirror image rotates planar polarized light towards left hand direction. So these are the similarities and the differences between enantiomers. The next one. So equimolar mixture of means 1:1 ratio of dextro-rotatory compound and a levorotatory compound is called racemic mixture. So it is called racemic mixture. So this term, this concept is also completed. What is racemization and what is a racemic mixture? So racemic mixture. So what is racemic mixture? Equimolar mixture of 1:1 ratio of equimolar ratio of dextrorotatory compound and levorotatory compound is called racemic mixture. If you take 50% of dextrorotatory compound, 50% of levorotatory compound, so it is called, this mixture is called a racemic mixture. This process of intermixing of so D and L compound in the preparation of racemic mixture is called racemization. This process is called racemization process. Okay, so 1:1 ratio of equimolar mixture means 1:1 ratio of dextrorotatory compound and levorotatory compound is called so racemic mixture. So this racemic mixture is optically inactive. Optically inactive means racemic mixture is taken in polarimeter choke. It is taken in polarimeter choke in the form of solution. It does not rotate the plane polarized light towards either clockwise direction or anti-clockwise direction. It does not rotate. Okay, means it does not rotate the plane polarized light. It means racemic mixture is optically inactive. But whereas dextro compound is first compound electricity is A. It is a dextrorotatory compound. It rotates plane polarized light. Its mirror image B is also levorotatory compound. L is also rotates plane polarized light individually. But if you take 1:1 ratio, means racemic mixture, it is optically inactive because of it rotates the plane polarized light towards the clockwise direction in 52 degrees. Next, its mirror image rotates -52, so plus 52 minus 52 get cancelled. Hence, racemic mixture is optically active or inactive? Inactive. Because of optical rotation of first compound is cancelled by its mirror image. So optical rotation is cancelled by each other. So it is called external compensation. So optical rotation of A compound is nullified by or cancelled by B. So it is called external compensation. It is called external compensation. It is called external compensation. External means so optical rotation of A compound is cancelled by B compound. External, it is called external compensation. This term is important. So racemic mixture is optically inactive because of external compensation. External compensation. So optical rotation is 0. So these are called enantiomers. Next one. Next, what are diastereomers? And what are the properties? And what are the examples of our diastereomers? What are the examples of our diastereomers? Okay, the next concept is diastereomers. So diastereomers. Diastereomers. It is possible diastereomerism is possible if the compound contains more than one asymmetric compound or take two asymmetric carbons containing two asymmetric carbons. So then diastereomerism is possible. Next here, the diastereomers and mesocompounds. Diastereomers and mesocompounds. It is possible. So the compound contains minimum two asymmetric carbons. Okay. So example, take tartaric acid. Tartaric acid. Tartaric acid is the dibasic acid. So it is COOH. It is COOH. Next it is CH. It is OH. Next it is CH. Next it is OH. It is OH. Next it is the COOH. Okay. So 2,3 dihydroxy 1,4. So butane 1,4 dioic acid. The 1, 2, 3, 4. So carboxylic acid is present at first and fourth carbons. So 2, 3 dihydroxy butane 1,4 dioic acid. So 1,4 dioic acid. So 2,3 dihydroxy root word butane 1,4 dioic acid. Dioic acid. Okay, ma? So 2, 3, we use dihydroxy. Root word contains 4 carbons, means butane. Dioic acid. These carboxylic acid groups are present at first and fourth positions. So 1,4 dioic acid, 2, 3 dihydroxy, 1,4 dioic acid. Commonly it is called tartaric acid. So this second carbon is asymmetric carbon because of it is attached with H. It is attached with COOH. It is attached with OH. Next, it is attached with CH, OH, COH. It is considered as group of species. Okay. So this carbon is asymmetric carbon. Next, take third carbon. Third carbon is also asymmetric carbon because of it is attached with hydrogen, COOH, OH. It is considered as CHOH, COH, 4 different groups. So tartaric acid contains how many asymmetric carbons? 2 asymmetric carbons. 2 asymmetric carbons. Okay, na? So 2, 3 dihydroxy butane 1,4 dioic acid. It is the IUPAC name. Let it is considered as A. Okay. Take its mirror image. It is a COOH. Next, it is a carbon. It is OH. It is H. Next, it is a carbon. It is H. It is OH. The next one, it is a COOH. Okay, so it is B. Okay, so it is A. It is B. These two are mirror images. These two are mirror images. So A and B are enantiomers. A and B are enantiomers. The next one. Take another possibility. It is the COOH. Next, it is the COOH. It is the second carbon. Next, it is the third carbon. Second and third carbons are asymmetric carbons. Okay. So suppose it is OH. It is OH. It is H. It is H. This is the first possibility. OH on right hand side, another OH on left hand side. Here OH on second carbon left hand side, on third carbon OH side. Next here both the OH on same side. Both the OH groups are on same side. Let it is the third possibility, that is C. Take its mirror image. Take its mirror image. So it is a COOH. Next, it is a COOH. It is the second asymmetric carbon. So in C, in third form, OH on the right hand side. So it is a mirror image on left hand side. Next it is H. Next it is OH. Next it is H. It is a COH. So it is B. So A and B are mirror images. C and D are mirror images. Okay, now means A is non-superimposed on B. Next one, C is non-superimposed on D. So A and B are enantiomers. Here, A and B. Next, A and B. Next, C and D are enantiomers. Are enantiomers. A and B, C and D are enantiomers. Okay. Then take A and C. One. A and C. A and C. It is A. It is C. Okay. Here OH on the right hand side. OH on the right hand side. Here H on the left hand side. Here H on. Here H on A. H on the left hand, right hand side. Here H on the left hand side. So A and C are Mirror images or not? A and B are mirror images, but A and C are not mirror images. A and D are not mirror images. B and C are not mirror images, and B and D also not mirror images. So A and B are mirror images. Next one, C and D also mirror images. But A and C, next one, A and D, next one, B and C, and B and D, B and D, B and D. Okay. A and C means 1 and 3, 1 and 4, 2 and 3, 2 and 4. These are non-mirror images. These 4 images are not mirror images. Mirror images. These are not mirror images. Okay. So these 2 are mirror images. Hence, it is not superimposed on this structure, or it is not superimposed on this structure because of their mirror images. So non-superimposable mirror images are called enantiomers. So because of their mirror images, hence they are non-superimposed. But A and C are not mirror images, but they are not superimposed. So this A is not superimposed on B. COOH is coincident. OH and H are coincident on second carbon, but in third carbon, right hand side it has H, it has OH. So this H is not coincident with OH. Next one, it has OH, it has H. So and A and C are non-superimposed, but they are not mirror images. Hence they are called diastereomers. They are called diastereomers. So what are the differences between enantiomers and diastereomers? Enantiomers are mirror images, hence they are non-superimposable. Diastereomers are non-superimposable. They are non-superimposable. They are not mirror images, and they are non-superimposable. Hence they are called diastereomers. So what are diastereomers? So the stereoisomers, which are non-mirror images and non-superimposable, are called non-mirror images, non-superimposable, non-mirror images are called diastereomers. Okay. Enantiomers means the stereoisomers, which are mirror images, they are non-superimposable. They are called enantiomers. Diastereomers means the stereoisomers, which are non-mirror images, and they are non-superimposable. So non-superimposable, non-mirror images are called diastereomers. Next one. So what are enantiomers? So non-superimposable mirror images are called enantiomers. So A and B are mirror images. These 2 are non-superimposed. Hence enantiomers. B, C and D are also mirror images. These 2 are non-superimposed. Hence C and D also enantiomers. Whereas A and C are non-superimposable and they are non-mirror images. So non-superimposable, non-mirror images are called diastereomers. Okay, na? So diastereomers are different physical properties like density, refractive index. So diastereomers are differ in physical properties. Next one, enantiomers having similarities in their properties. Okay, so it is a enantiomer. Next it is a diastereomer. The next one. So this compound. The next concept is what is a mesocompound. What is the mesocompound? So mesocompound is optically active or inactive. It is the last topic. So what is a mesocompound? So mesocompound is optically active or inactive. What is the reason for optical inactivity? Okay. The next weekend syllabus up to polyhalogen derivatives. In the next class, we are going to start polyhalogen derivatives. Polyhalogen derivatives. CFC, chloroform, carbon tetrachloride. The next one, fluorochlorocarbons. These are the polyhalogen derivatives. Okay, thank you.